Welcome to episode number 18. We are back again. Last week I thought it
The
was,
big one ain't.
but it was actually episode 17. I'm Coach Brian, and I have with me today.
I'm Coach Jacob, and I got a special guest with me today. He's hanging out.
We got a cat.
That's my buddy Jew.
I just put my dog Dove outside actually, so she didn't bark while we're doing this. I'm gonna have to go get her after this. Hey, I mean, it's been a crazy week of some sports. We got some football and we have basketball starting up. So do you want to start with some basketball?
You know, I want to jump right into some football.
Oh,
Right into some football right now because it is the heat of the moment. I know it's taking a lot of our time. So let's jump right into the football. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. And, you know, the playoffs are nearing.
Mm-hmm. Fantasy playoffs already started.
Yeah, exactly. We're not gonna skip on the other sports, but I really want to hit onto football right now because it's fresh on my mind. It's kind of what I'm feeling really good about because in all of my leagues that I signed up for in fantasy football, I made the playoffs.
I can also say that as well. I made the playoffs. I'm only in 3 leagues though, but I did make the playoffs in all 3 of my leagues. So that is great to hear, great to know. I'm gonna put my mic a little more in front of me so you can hopefully hear me better. It was off to the side. Yeah, so I mean, fantasy football, it's been a crazy world. The game last night, we saw Cam Akers finally break out. I mean, the rookie out of Florida State, we've been waiting for him, and he got 29 carries with like 170 yards last night.
Mm-hmm.
Huge game, and he was on my bench in one fantasy league, so I'm gonna have to deal with that. I'm going to be starting DeAndre Swift, so hopefully the other rookie comes through for me.
Yeah.
Hopefully he plays because he hasn't played the last 2 weeks.
It's tough. It's tough because you know, Cam Akers hadn't really done much the whole season, and
yeah, man.
And I shouldn't say that. Not that he hadn't done much, but he hadn't gotten
the
full opportunity. Exactly. Yeah. He was still learning the system, and you know, they had like a 3-back committee going for a while, so it took a while for. You know, and obviously Malcolm Brown had to take a step down, and Henderson took over, split a little bit with Akers, and it was just kind of at that. But now it's clear who the workhorse is.
I mean, for a while, it looked like Henderson was taking over the backfield, and he was the kind of running back to own for fantasy. So it's definitely been interesting. I mean, I'm excited for the Cam Akers, but I didn't start Cam Akers, but I did start the Rams defense in a league, which went huge for me. I mean, I think they got me like 30 points. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, they had a pretty stellar performance, you could say.
And yeah, I got 33 points from them. And I think a lot of that you can contribute to the lackluster play we've seen from Cam Newton. I mean, he has not been Cam Newton of old.
You be careful. You be careful, Brian.
I know you're a big Cam Newton fan, but it just looks like he doesn't have the throwing arm anymore, and it doesn't look like he's the athlete he used to be, man. He just looks like he's running slower, and I mean, I love watching Cam Newton. I hope he could turn it around, but so far, I don't think he's a quarterback who could take a team to the playoffs.
He does not look like the Cam of old. That is for sure.
Definitely not.
I'm still not happy with the way the organization handled all that, but we're going to move on. Okay.
Do you want to, is there things you want to talk about, or do you just want to hop in our predictions for next week?
Well, I guess the one thing that I really wanted to focus on is just how it's almost like anybody's game out there right now.
Yeah. I mean,
like the field is wide open for almost everybody.
I would say
the Giants and the Giants.
Yikes!
Who would have thought? What have I been saying about New York? Get it together.
Get it together, New York.
And no one's gonna potentially make it into the playoffs. That's crazy.
Both New York teams almost got it together. I mean, the Jets almost beat the Raiders. If they weren't actively trying to lose that game, they should have beat the Raiders. I mean, that is the worst defensive call I think we will ever see on a Hail Mary type of down. Like, there was like 3-4 seconds left. The Raiders had to get a touchdown, and they blitzed 7 people. They left Henry.
That's an all-out blitz, pretty much.
They left.
I think one more would have been considered all out.
They called the Madden play. They called the Madden play. What is that, like Elite 8? No, it's
Engage 8. Engage 8.
Engage 8, where you rush 8 guys.
That's exactly what they did.
Like their coach literally was just like,
my
we're
God.
playing Madden. Let's call the Madden call. And he left Henry Ruggs with 4.2 speed, 1-on-1 with a rookie who ran like a 4.58 at the combine. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? Like, of course, Ruggs is gonna blow by that guy. Like, I don't know. I'm a huge Raiders fan. As if you guys watch the show, you probably know by now. The Raiders did not deserve that win, but at the end of the day, a win is a win.
You got to take it. You got to take it.
Yeah, they play the Colts this week. That's a huge game for their playoff lives. If they want to make the playoffs, they have to show up against these Colts, especially after not showing up for the past 2 weeks, losing to the Falcons, and should have lost to the Jets. The good news for the Raiders, I'm kind of getting into this early. I'm just on the Raiders vibe right now, but it looks like we're getting Jonathan Abram back, our safety. A lot of Raider fans like to hate on Jonathan Abram every now and then, but I think these last 2 games against the Falcons and the Jets have really shown how important Jonathan Abram is to our defense. I mean, the Raiders could not stop the Jets running game at all. It was Ty Johnson tearing them up. He had like 120 yards or something. And there was just no, there was no safety or linebacker enforcing their will against the running game, it seemed like. And that's what Abram does. Abram's very instinctual, and he's great against the running game. So I'm excited to have him back.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun week in sports. You know, there was some bad news on Carolina's end.
Honestly,
it's horrible.
You think they should shut McCaffrey down for the season?
They probably should. Do I want them to? No, because I have him in fantasy football, and I traded away for him and haven't been able to use him.
I was trying to trade for him. Remember when I was told Miles Sanders and Robert Woods wouldn't be enough, and now Robert Woods is going off?
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
Honestly, if I didn't own Christian McCaffrey in a league that's the most valuable league that I have, by the way, and that's worth the most money. And if I didn't own him in that league, I would definitely say shut him down. Come on, ankle, and then he returns, and then it's his shoulder, and he's about to return, and then we find out something with his quad. Like, what is going on?
Okay, so let's hop straight.
Shut him down.
Straight into our predictions. I agree. They definitely should shut him down. He has like 3 injuries. But let's jump straight into our predictions. First game of the week will be Tennessee versus Jacksonville. As you know, I'm a huge Tennessee fan. They're probably my second favorite team to watch. I think between Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, who's been popping up. What's up? Ryan Tannehill. I think that offense is very good, even though they got.
I think they're on and off.
I think they will find their stride against a 1-win team in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and it's funny because why did I barely realize last week they only have 1 win?
Mm-hmm.
That just never registered with me for some reason this whole time, and I'm over here playing DJ Chark everywhere, and like, oh my goodness, what am I?
They have James Robinson, who's like one of the better undrafted
guy
we've seen in a while. He's a beast for them. Mm-hmm. And then they have DJ Chark, who I think DJ Chark is a really, really good receiver. He doesn't have a quarterback. It's hard to put up numbers when you don't have a good quarterback.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think Jacksonville is a team we can see draft a quarterback early in the draft next year and be a significantly better team.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. For that one, as much as I want to say that the Titans are probably going to blow it like they've been lately, but
okay, wait. I want to retract that statement though, because they played against a 3-lost Cleveland team. Cleveland has been dominant. So can you really call that blowing it?
You can. What was the score?
It ended up being a lot closer.
What?
Okay.
The point is they are supposed to be one of the elite teams. They should not be getting work
after last. So you say, what was the score? What do you think the score was if you had to guess?
It was a lot to a little.
Okay. So the final score was 41-35.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a lot to a little.
It is.
They made a comeback. I will say this, they got blown out in the first half. They gave up.
You know why they made a comeback? Because they weren't doing anything after that. Cleveland was already up so high.
So Cleveland scored 28 points in the second quarter. That's what killed them. The Titans played a horrible second quarter.
I am taking the Titans on this one, though.
Cleveland is a 9-win team. Yeah, the Titans definitely should. They're definitely going to be
better.
But they made a good comeback attempt
They're
against the Browns.
I don't know,
And
man.
that is a really good Browns
Sometimes they
team.
look really good, and sometimes they're like, "What is going on over there?"
That is the best Browns team I've ever had during my lifetime. During my lifetime, I should say. Next game is the Minnesota Vikings.
It seems the same thing about them too.
The next game,
what is going on over there?
Is the Minnesota Vikings against the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I should add, the extremely hot Minnesota Vikings. Their offense has like hit a groove with, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and Justin Jefferson putting up numbers that we haven't really seen from rookie wide receiver since like Randy Moss, which is wild to think about. So, and to think they were both drafted by Minnesota. Wild. Yeah. Having said that, I'm a Tampa Bay hater, and I'm a Minnesota Viking offensive lover right now. So I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings with Dalvin
because
Cook.
You own Dalvin Cook?
I do own Dalvin Cook. I also own Justin Jefferson. I don't like Tampa Bay. So I'm going hopeful.
Yeah. Well, I don't like Tampa Bay either.
Mm-hmm. So they're in your division. Fair enough.
I'm not going to choose them. And not because they're in my division, but I don't know. Sometimes I watch them and I wonder, like, for all that talent that they just brought in, and they should be better than they are.
Yeah. No, I agree. If you look at their wide receiver talent, they have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown. And you're telling me they're putting up the offensive numbers they are? Even Ronald Jones, I know you're not a fan of him, but he's been putting up numbers this year.
He's decent right now.
He's been putting up numbers this year. So, like, that offense really should be better than they are.
Yeah, that's what I said. They should be.
So, who are you taking? Minnesota? Is that what you said?
Yes, of course.
I didn't hear you. Sorry. Next game is
not going to take Tampa Bay.
Next game is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Miami Dolphins. Unlike you, I will take the divisional opponent. I think the Chiefs, especially late in the year, they're just a dominant team. I think one thing to note, I think if Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback of Miami, it would be a much closer game. But with Tua Tagovailoa, I struggled through that. Yeah. Starting, Miami's defense is elite. That's why I think if Fitzpatrick was there, it would be closer. But with Tua, I'm going to take Kansas City.
Yeah, it's really hard to even go against Kansas City, period, though.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It makes more sense for us to just keep saying Kansas City every single week because it's a good chance that they're going to win.
We said that about Pittsburgh last week, and
it's okay. They've only lost one game this whole time. You can say Pittsburgh every week, and you've been fine. Fair enough. But because you and I were still competing at the end, whoever has the most wins.
You're 4 games ahead of me now after last week.
4 games ahead, man. I need to boost those numbers up. So, oh my goodness. Again, how do you choose against Kansas City?
You're taking Casey. Next game, we have your boys, the Carolina Panthers, at home against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are just bad. I don't know what else to say.
I
really hope I'm going to take Carolina, and I really, really hope they don't lose this game.
I'm going to take Carolina as well.
Because if they lose this game, I'm not picking them again for the rest of the season.
If they lose this game, I won't pick them again for the rest of the season. But I'm going to choose Carolina in this one, and not because I'm a fan and being a homer, but because I truly think that they are a better team than the Broncos right now. Although they finally have their quarterbacks, and they were able to do a little bit of something with them now. There's no way I can choose them now. Sorry, Denver.
The next game, we have the Houston Texans against the Chicago Bears. The Texans, even without Will Fuller last week, their offense still looked dominant. We saw Kiki Kuti step up. And, Kiki Kuti is kind of a weird story because we saw him break out as a rookie, and then it's like Bill O'Brien just didn't like him and wouldn't play him. And with the new coaching staff, we finally see him getting his opportunity again. And do you know what? He's putting up numbers. So I'm excited for that Texans offense. But the Chicago Bears kind of, in a sense, are a great matchup with the Texans. The Texans, we know their defense isn't that good and their offense is going to score. And the Bears, we know their defense is going to be good and their offense, it depends.
Yeah. It's an interesting, like Chicago is known to have a really good defense. Their offense this year, that's something else. But I I have a feeling that Houston is gonna take over this game, and not because they're just gonna be dominating offensively, but I just don't see the Bears being able to move the ball very well anymore. And
Yeah.
I know they have a good defense, but it's
And
how
remember,
long can they last if they're on the
David
field
Johnson is
forever?
also out this week.
And
David Johnson. Yeah, you were about to say it.
I was right about to say, and I'm pretty sure David Johnson was labeled out. I don't know if it was an injury or if it had something to do with COVID. I think it was COVID. Yep, COVID, which is horrible because he's also on my starting roster.
I'm going against him in a league, so it works out good for me.
Yep, but I'm still going to take the Texans on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually take the Bears. I think the way to beat the Bears is to control the ball, right? Because their offense isn't very good. With Trubisky, we know they're going to take more chances than they were with Foles. That's one good thing. And David Montgomery's also been really good as of late. So I think if the Bears can find a way to control the game with their running game, I think there's a chance with their defensive. And just to be different than you, I'm going to take the Bears. So our next game, we have the Arizona Cardinals against the New York Giants, who all of a sudden are looking like a scary opponent after taking down the monster that is Seattle. So you want to take this one first?
Oh, man. Wouldn't that be great to see New York beat Arizona?
Dude, honestly, I want to see the New York Giants make it to the playoffs out of that division.
I wouldn't mind it. I've been, of everybody in that division, I wouldn't mind it being the Giants. The Eagles, like, oh my God, they're just a mess. The year that they won the Super Bowl, I know they had a really good defense, and I still thought they were kind of fluky and kind of slid in there, in my opinion. But that's besides the point. Pass. Washington, I wouldn't mind either.
I want to see Washington. That'd be a great story with Alex Smith.
It would be a great story for Alex Smith. It'd be a great story for Ron Rivera, especially because of what he's gone through this season. Yeah. But I wouldn't mind. I'd prefer it to be one of those two teams. Dallas is just a whole. Yeah, I don't want to go into Dallas right now. It's a mess over there.
Man,
but
I feel bad for Dak.
Yeah, definitely do.
So, are you taking the Giants?
I'm going to take. I'm thinking, like, am I picking? That's what I was thinking. Am I picking the Giants? I would want them to. I know Arizona's been kind of on the fence lately, but I think Arizona does pull it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Arizona too. I'm not gonna bet on a Daniel Jones team as of now. Even though Wayne Gallman has been really good for them, and their defense is definitely a lot better than most.
I've been saying, don't sleep on their pass defense.
Their defense is definitely better than people give them credit for, but I think Arizona's offense might be just a little too high powered for them.
Yeah.
Next game, we have the Dallas Cowboys against the Cincinnati Bengals in what we maybe can dub the garbage game of the week. Like, I don't want to watch this game.
I don't want to watch that one either. I'm gonna pick the Cowboys though. I am gonna pick the Cowboys though because they have Andy Dalton still at the quarterback, and they showed last week that they were able to do something. The Bengals are, ever since Joe Burrow went down, it's like the whole team went down. So
I mean, the Bengals, you're missing Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow. So you're not only missing your starting quarterback, you're missing your starting running back and your best two offensive players. I mean, maybe you could put T. Higgins up there and Tyler Boyd, but they're not really effective with Brandon Allen at quarterback. Even though Boyd did have that, he had a.
If you had to start one person from the Bengals
in fantasy,
who would it be?
Any position like a flex.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Man, that's a tough question. If I'm looking for the highest floor, I'd probably take Giovanni Bernard.
What?
As the highest floor. If I'm looking for a ceiling play, I'd take T. Higgins. He has the best boom potential. But if I'm looking if I'm just looking for like someone to try getting me 10 points, I'd probably take Bernard.
Yeah, and I think you would lose that bet.
Who would you take?
I would take T. Higgins off the bat. T. Higgins is the only guy who's producing there.
Okay, let's make a bet. Bernard or Higgins, who gets more points this week?
Water bet.
Water bet. That's our water bet. We need here. I'm gonna keep track of those because last week we made one, but I don't even remember what it was.
I don't remember what it was either.
So I'm typing this one out. Giovanni, and this is PPR, right? I should have said that.
Full point?
Yeah.
Nah, you're just trying to do that because Giovanni Bernard.
I was gonna do. That's what I was thinking, anyways.
I'll give you half point. I'll give you half point because you're trying to pull the fast one.
But all my fantasy leagues are full point, so that's why I think that way.
Okay, full point.
That's why. That's the only reason it came out as that.
Okay, here's the thing. I have a feeling without Joe Mixon, Giovanni Bernard will get a good amount of receptions, and if you go full point, that's going to help you.
Well, yeah,
he's going to get more receptions. I will put this.
Mm-hmm.
He will probably get more receptions than T. Higgins. That's why you want to go full point. That's why I said I'll give you that point. I think though overall, T. Higgins has a better opportunity to score a touchdown. Than Giovanni Bernard.
I 100% agree with you. That's why I said Bernard is like he has a higher floor to me. I think his base level points is higher than the lowest.
Okay, so we need to decide where's this water bet, half point?
I'm doing my mind's full point. If you want me to do half point,
I'll do scissors. Paper, rock, scissors. Ready?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh,
what'd you? You're not even on camera. Am I on camera? We both did the same. Right.
Full point it.
Okay, full point it is.
That's what you want. I already know it.
I'm taking Dallas in that game as well. Let's get into our next game. We have the Indianapolis Colts against the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm staying faithful with my team. This is a huge playoff game. The Raiders need to win. They're getting Josh Jacobs back. They're getting Trent Brown, a right tackle who's missed most of the season, back. They're getting John Abram back.
What is the Raiders' record right now?
Let me look it up. What do you think it is?
They're in the playoff hunt, aren't they?
Yes. It's actually right now between them and the Colts for this last spot. The Raiders are 7-5. The Colts are 8-4.
Oh, interesting.
And right now, the tiebreaker is to the Browns, who the Raiders currently hold the tiebreaker over because they beat the Browns.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna take Oakland.
I'm taking Las Vegas.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
I'm not taking Oakland, just to clarify.
Oh yeah,
I'm taking Las Vegas.
My bad. I almost said Oakland again. Okay, so you're taking Las Vegas.
Yeah, because
and I know that's your favorite team. Enough said. So I am going to take the Colts because I am going to take the Colts because one, I want to have a team that we haven't agreed on yet. We've
already had one of those, but yes.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, okay, we need more of those because I need to boost my numbers up. So I'm going to take the Colts on this one. They've been playing really good football lately, and I know that Phillip Rivers hasn't exactly been lately, the guy we want him to be, but he's starting to show it again, and that offense is starting to move a little bit. Believe it or not.
Phillip Rivers hasn't been showing it. Their run game has been getting going, which does scare me because that's where the Raiders are weakest.
It's not about having these monster games on fantasy. It's not about that. He's winning games. He's winning games. That's what it matters.
He's been inaccurate.
He's winning games.
I'm not a big Phillip Rivers fan. Just outside of this, I think Phillip Rivers is definitely past his prime. I think
we know that.
Well, yeah, I think the Colts defense is elite,
but he's winning games. That's what matters in real life.
Can I say my point? Their running game has been winning points. Their offensive line has been extremely dominant, and they're running the ball, controlling the clock. So I think this game will.
And the Raiders are close to the Jets.
The Raiders and Colts both have the similar play style where they're going to try holding the ball and running out the clock. So it'll kind of be who wins that game for me. The next game is the New York Jets. I might add, I'm starting Taylor against the Raiders defense too. So there's my confidence in the Raiders run game.
Fantastic.
It's either Taylor or Mostert. I feel like I'm making the right move in starting Taylor.
I think you are too.
The next game is the Jets versus Seattle. I think Seattle is going to be very angry, and I think they are just going to destroy the Jets.
It is going to be how do I put this?
Blowout.
It's going to be a what?
A blowout.
Oh, definitely. It's going to be a blowout. I was trying to be super dramatic with it, but I lost it. So it's going to be a blowout, and it's going to definitely be an exciting game to watch if you're a Seahawks fan.
I mean, one thing to note is even in a game where the Raiders almost lost to the Jets, Derek Carr had like 35 fantasy points.
Yep.
So if you're playing Russell Wilson this week in fantasy football, be scared. If you have DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett going against you, be scared. If they're on your team, be pumped. But this passing game for Seattle is going to be insane this week, and that is my assumption. Our next game, we have the Green Bay Packers against the Detroit Lions. You want to take this one?
The Green Bay Packers against the Detroit Lions. How do you say that? How are you even going to say that the Detroit's going to win this game? Though,
are you ready? You ready?
You're going to say it?
Well, I need to make up games on you somehow.
Okay, perfect. I'm going Green Bay.
I mean, see, the thing is, I'm down 4 games. It's getting late in the season. Like,
you got to make some gambles here.
I have to make some bold choices here, right?
Okay.
So here's my reason why. They have a new coach, right?
Yeah, they do. They have been playing better. They have been playing better ball.
Yeah. So last year, when the guy who's the coach now was the offensive coordinator, he's got some more take to be more aggressive on offense, and Stafford looked good, right?
Yeah.
And now he's in charge, and the offense might get more aggressive. They're getting DeAndre Swift back, which only boosts their offense.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I don't think it's going to be enough.
We've seen some big teams slip up. I'm taking my bet with the talent on Detroit's offense to maybe catch Green Bay off guard.
Okay.
That's my pitch.
And you know what? Green Bay's defense hasn't been the best lately. So I can see it being, something like that. But at the same time, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers have been deadly. And I don't think the Lions defense is going to stop them.
I don't think they're going to stop them.
You can't
but
stop
I think they're going to keep up with them.
I don't know if they'll keep up, but we'll see.
That's my hope.
I'm picking Green Bay to win.
I think Detroit's going to get beat so bad. I'm starting Jamal Williams in one game as the backup running back for Green Bay.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You say that, though, because Jamal Williams put up like 12 points last time they played the Lions.
He's not, but they still utilize him too. So
exactly. And in that league, especially after getting 30 points from the Rams defense, it's between him or my other options. Oh, is Miles Sanders, who's been bad. So I'm just taking Jamal Williams on the hope. See what happens. I mean, Sanders is playing this good Saints defense. Next we have is the Atlanta Falcons versus the Los Angeles Chargers, who got absolutely dismantled by the Patriots last week.
That was hard. But
the Atlanta Falcons have Julio Jones out, which means I'm going to take the Chargers.
Yeah. Did you say Julio Jones is out again this week?
Yes, he is.
Oh, my gosh.
They just announced that yesterday. It's his nagging hamstring injury that keeps coming back.
Well,
I'm assuming you're sad because you have him in fantasy football.
And that is a fact. I do have him in fantasy football. Yet another person I've traded for and haven't been able to use much. So,
I traded for him too, so I feel your pain there. But at least I have Deontay Johnson on my bench who I could plug in for him, and I'll be fine there.
Yep. Well, I gave away Nick Chubb.
So, that's a yikes.
Big yikes. Oh, see, I don't even want to talk about it. I am. What's your Atlanta's playing who again?
Falcons Chargers.
Chargers. That's what it was. Chargers. I wanted to. Yeah, I want to say it was. If I would have said, if you wouldn't have told me that Julio was there, I might have leaned more towards Atlanta. But now that he's not going to be there,
remember what Julio 11 is?
What is Julio 11?
If Julio Jones is not playing, Matt Ryan is not startable, and you're picking the team against.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Shout out fantasy footballers for that. Since a lot
shout out. So I am definitely going to. I want to go against you.
Okay, take the Falcons.
No. I can't. I cannot. It's too risky. It's too risky.
Okay.
I'm taking the Chargers. And I'm hoping Awesome Eckler finally becomes awesome again.
Dude, I have him on one of my teams. I'm loving him being back. Next up, we have Washington football team, who shocked the world and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers last week against the San Francisco Niners.
That was crazy.
Dude, you know the
crazy.
favorite thing about that? Chase Young, the number 1 overall pick, who's been an absolute stud, or number 2 overall pick, right?
Yeah.
After Joe Burrow. He's been an absolute stud, right? He's been so good. He's defensive player of the year, rookie player of the year, I should say, for sure. And when Mike Tomlin was talking to him, it was hilarious because Mike Tomlin said, I never want to be so bad where I get a guy like you. Or he said, I don't want a guy like you on my team because that means I'm bad. Like I have to lose 14, 15 games to get a guy like you. He pretty much straight up said, like, I never want to be so bad I get a guy like you. Just meaning you're so good, you're going to be like a top 3 pick no matter what.
Yeah.
Which is true. I mean, he's been
but a lot of times players don't stay in the same place.
Oh, for sure. And that's how you end up with a player like him. But I think it was more of like, I don't want to ever have to draft a player like you. What do you mean I was so bad? So I'm going to take Washington to keep their momentum alive. They did lose Antonio Gibson, but he didn't play the whole last game. McKissick stepped up, and McKissick's looked really good this year.
He did. He had a good game last week.
Yeah, I mean, I think McKissick fits in with Alex Smith very well. I mean, the Washington's defense is insane. Like, I think their defense, people overlook them so much. Like, I think Washington next year, if they could figure out what they want to do with quarterback and really find their identity, they could be insanely scary.
I agree. And, I think Washington is a team that's getting better. And next season, I can't wait to see what they do, especially, when they're fully healed. And
they got your boy Ron Rivera.
Yep, definitely. Riverboat Ron is my guy. I think we mentioned this before, but he is a native to our area. So it's always fun to root for somebody who is from right there in our backyard, I want to choose Washington as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be interesting.
The Steelers, I can't blame you. Like, they just beat the Steelers. The Niners just lost to who'd they play? The Rams? No.
I forgot who they played.
I don't remember. Buffalo, yeah. So, I mean, Buffalo's a good team, don't get me wrong, but I think Washington is kind of hot right now. I mean, you have to remember their confidence is going to be sky high after beating the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm going to take the Washington football team.
I am as well.
Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm taking New Orleans here. Philly is really? They have the rookie quarterback starting with them, and the Saints defense is really good. I'm not confident in Philadelphia's quarterback situation. Regardless.
I am not either, and not because I don't think Jalen Hurts isn't a good quarterback, but he's a rookie, and he hasn't gotten to play much this season.
And he's going against one of the best defenses.
Exactly. It's going to be rough for him out there. So
I did pick him up in a couple of fantasy leagues. Try holding on.
He might be one of those type of guys, and I'm sure he can move a little bit. So,
dude, he plays Dallas in the fantasy playoffs. Think about that. Dallas. Like, that's what you want your quarterback going against in the fantasy playoffs.
True.
So, especially in the 2 quarterback league, I picked him up on waivers in the 2 quarterback league. I wanted him so bad.
Yeah. I had an opportunity to, but I just don't have a need for him. So,
I mean, to be fair, in the 2 quarterback league, I started Trubisky the last 2 weeks, so I'm desperate for a second quarterback.
Yikes.
I'm not starting Jalen Hurts this week though, because he's playing the Saints, so I'm still gonna rock with Trubisky. It's part of the reason I picked him against Houston. Yep. But
I'll be definitely going with the Saints as well.
Okay. Next game is the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills are a very underrated team. I mean, they showed up and beat a solid Niners team last week. But I think Pittsburgh comes out angry. I think Pittsburgh wants to show that they aren't like a fluky 11-win team. And you have to remember, Pittsburgh still hasn't clinched the playoffs. If they lose out, there's a world they can miss the playoffs. So they're definitely going to want to get that spot clinched in and win this game.
Mm-hmm. So I am also going to choose Pittsburgh. And, man, I know Devin Singletary, he had himself a little bit of a game. But it's just not enough anymore for that team. They need to step it up on offense. And, You know, I know Stephon Diggs is having himself a season 2, but
Diggs has been really good. It's Josh Allen who needs to step it up. He needs
exactly. Josh Allen needs to step it up, and when he doesn't step up and he doesn't create, it shows for sure. But not only that is the run game just doesn't come out.
Yeah,
for
sure.
And maybe they need to try to focus on developing the run game before they open up the pass. Or who knows?
I'm kind of wondering if it's an offensive line thing because it seems like they struggle. It seems like they struggled to run the ball. And Singletary.
Well, I mean, Zach Moss. We all saw what happened with Zach Moss.
Ugly.
Ugly.
He got excited, never secured the ball.
He didn't even. Oh my god!
It hit the back of his hand, didn't it?
It didn't even make it inside of the the little pocket that you grab the ball. It didn't even make it in there. I don't know what happened.
Hit the back of his hand.
Then he juggled it. It looked like he's bouncing it like a hot potato. And oh my gosh! But yeah, I just don't see them doing enough to win this game.
Yeah. So you want to move on to the next game? I think we're both in agreement. Next game is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. I've already written down who I think is going to win, so I want you to go first.
I'm going to pick the Browns.
Good. I'm picking the Ravens.
Okay. So I'm going to pick the Browns. And you know what? The Baltimore Ravens. It's gonna be an interesting game to see. Honestly, this is one I really want to watch because it can go either way. It really can.
Monday night football game too.
It really can. And I'm only picking the Browns because I had a feeling you were going to go the Ravens, and I wanted to go against you. Like Lamar Jackson, passing wise, but he's for sure going to get you a touchdown, whether it be through the air or on the ground. You're going to get a touchdown from Lamar Jackson, probably a couple of them. He's finally like
he had it
in there. He didn't break 100 passing yards this last game. But he had himself
last game though. He had 3 touchdowns.
He had I think 1 touchdown in the air, 97 yards, and then 2 rushing touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought he had
two big. Yeah, I think he had 2 big runs.
Well, I know
he had one from like 50 or 60 yards, right up the gut.
Let me look.
But I don't remember his exact stat.
Yeah, so he had 107 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns.
He did break it.
Yeah, and he had 95 rushing yards and a touchdown. So I think he's finding his confidence running the ball, which is huge for him. His best passing game all season was against Cleveland in week 1, where he threw for 3 touchdowns and 280 yards. So Cleveland's definitely a team he's comfortable playing against, and his confidence is high after last week. So I think this is definitely a matchup for him to blow up. We see J.K. Dobbins getting more playing time, and he's the best running back they have. They're getting Hollywood Brown involved. So I'm excited from what I'm seeing for this offense, and I have Lamar Jackson in 2 leagues, even though I'm benching him, and I'm benching Lamar Jackson for Ryan Tannehill this week. With Tannehill against a 1-win Jacksonville team, I think is a good bet.
It could be. Could very well be.
So we'll see what's happened. That's football for this week. And let's get into some basketball. You ready?
Yeah, we don't have much time left, but there's a lot of interesting things that happened in basketball this week.
Oh, for sure. So for the Warriors, we heard there's 2 players who tested positive for COVID. They didn't want to release names, but James
wasn't talking about COVID though, but go ahead.
I know. I just want to start off with the Warriors news. But so James Wiseman and Draymond Green, it hasn't been confirmed that it was them, but they've been missing practice. So obviously connect the dots. There's a reason why. But James Wiseman got back in today. So it said they might not get any preseason work, which is not what you want to hear about one of your starters and one of your hyped up rookie star, I should say. But I'm concerned about that. One thing I did like is Eric Pascal has apparently been like lighting it up in the team workouts, which is good to hear. Like, I would love to see Eric Pascal step up and be a bigger part of this team this year. He was a huge part last year, and I really hope he continues that on. What were you going to say?
Yeah, well, Paul George actually just recently signed an extension with the Clippers, which is interesting because there were a lot of trade rumors recently. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering what's going to happen with that. What have you heard about any of those trade rumors? Do you know?
I did not know he was actually even involved in trade rumors. So that was news to me.
And as well as Ben Simmons is also in some trade rumors.
That's an interesting to me.
Yeah, and it was to to pair him up, Ben Simmons with the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard. That would be interesting. I don't know if that's the move I would do. But there was also some trade rumors of Paul George getting traded to the Rockets for James Harden to create a Harden Kawhi backcourt. So interesting. I don't know, what is true, what is not, but those are some interesting things that have come across, and those are really, really big trades, big players. But as we just found out, anything can happen. John Wall and Russell Westbrook just got traded to
each other's teams.
Yeah. So now we're gonna see Russell Westbrook on the Wizards, and now we're gonna see John Wall on the Rockets. And John Wall hasn't played in what,
like a year and a half.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years since he's played. So it's interesting that they gave up Russell Westbrook. I know that John Wall is a little more of a facilitating type of a point guard, I believe.
And they also got a first-round pick in it, which I think makes a lot of sense for them.
It does make a lot of sense. But, it's interesting because I want to now, I think, Bradley Beal in Washington he's a really good player. So I'm interested in seeing how those
There's been a lot of trade rumors with him too, isn't there?
There had been trade rumors about him possibly even getting traded to the Warriors early on.
Yeah, I heard that.
There was quite a few other things like that, but it's going to be interesting just to see how a lot of this stuff plays out. And I can't wait for basketball to start again. And it's coming up real soon.
Yeah, no. When does the season start? Like the 16th or something? 18th?
Let me get the I'm looking for the next Friday. It's coming up, and if I am not mistaken, it begins
December 22nd.
Yep.
So we're about 11 days, week and a half away. So next week we'll probably talk a little more about basketball next week. Really dive into more of this stuff. Maybe Jacob will come up with his some predictions for the season.
Yeah, I think it's going to be time for us to have our focus, a little more on
50-50.
On NBA. Well, no, just on but because football's going to be over soon.
Mm-hmm.
But sports talk never ends.
There's still a lot of football left to be played. We have the playoffs.
Oh yeah, there still is. But I'm saying it might be time for us to start making kind of weekly predictions for basketball games and things like that.
It's almost spring where we got baseball.
Yep. It's gonna be a fun year, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this next year of sports. This year has been an interesting year in all ways. And yeah, you have anything else you want to talk about today?
I'm okay. I think one fun fact.
Oh, I like fun facts.
LeBron James, Anthony Davis.
LeBron James.
The numbers. LeBron James giving up his number to Anthony Davis.
It's an interesting switch, especially after winning a title.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they didn't do it last year and they're doing it now.
Well, they weren't allowed to do it last year.
Why were they not allowed to?
Because they when they announced that they wanted to do it, it was already too late for production, Like Nike had already created all the jerseys and everything. Distributed them all and kind of, it was already too late, basically.
Yeah.
So they told them next year you can, and they followed through with it. That's
cool. I mean, so there's a lot of people with jerseys with the wrong numbers on it, but hey, they're an artifact. They're interesting. Right. They're rare.
Now, exactly. Now they're going to be considered rare.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting if you have one of those jerseys. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
And I think that wraps up today's episode. So if you're here, make sure to drop a like. Make sure to subscribe.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Watch our other episodes. We'll appreciate it. And that does it for today. We'll see you guys later.